The room changes when you walk in, not because of what they see, because of what they sense. Something invisible wrapping around their throat, a presence they can't name but feel in their bones. You think that's coincidence? You think that sudden shift in their confidence is random? It isn't. There are eyes watching you that you'll never see. Forces moving around you that don't require your belief to exist. And while everyone else is busy performing their loyalty, posting their facades, pretending they've got it figured out, you've been marked, tagged, chosen by something that doesn't announce itself with trumpets or validation posts. Something that works in frequencies most people can't even detect. They feel it though. Your enemies, your rivals. The ones who smiled in your face while sharpening knives behind their backs. They feel it crawling up their spine at 3 in the morning. That gnawing sensation that something's wrong. That you're not just surviving, you're protected by architecture they can't see or comprehend. You want to know what's really happening? Why the people who tried to bury you keep hitting walls they didn't build? Why their schemes collapse right before they reach you? Why their sleep is fractured and their confidence is leaking like a punctured tire? Ghost Protocol. It activated the moment you stopped begging for mercy. The exact second you wiped your face, stood up from that floor where they left you bleeding, and decided that surviving wasn't enough anymore. You wanted something else, something darker, something that doesn't just endure damage, but transforms it into a weapon that never stops cutting. That's when the universe took notice. That's when invisible hands started rearranging the board. See, most people live their entire lives begging for protection they can see. They want bodyguards, legal teams, witnesses, paper trails. They need the visible armor because they're still operating on the frequency of fear. They're still playing the game where evidence matters, where justice is supposed to arrive on schedule like some cosmic delivery service. But you graduated into something else entirely. You've entered the realm where protection doesn't need a face, where your enemies don't get confronted, they get dismantled psychologically piece by piece until they're checking over their shoulders in empty rooms. You didn't choose this. This chose you. The moment you absorbed that betrayal and didn't let it kill you, the moment you swallowed that humiliation and turned it into fuel instead of poison, the protocol activated. Silent, invisible, absolute. And now they're feeling it. Every single person who underestimated you is experiencing a psychological breakdown. They can't explain to their therapist. They'll try. They'll sit in that chair and talk about anxiety, about paranoia, about this overwhelming sense that something's coming for them. And the therapist will prescribe pills and breathing exercises and all the usual machinery of normal human fear. But this isn't normal fear. This is the fear of someone who senses they've angered something vast, something patient, something that doesn't need to rush because it's already won. They're feeling the presence of eyes they can't see, the weight of attention from forces that don't operate on human timelines or human mercy. You're walking around like nothing happened, smiling, building, creating, thriving in ways that don't make sense to them because they calculated your destruction down to the decimal point. They knew exactly how much damage they inflicted. They measured the blade before they slid it between your ribs. They watched you fall, and they were certain, absolutely certain, that you weren't getting back up. But you did. And worse than that, you improved. You evolved. You became something they don't have a category for in their limited understanding of power and survival. That's what's breaking their minds. It's not that you survived. Cockroaches survive. Weeds survive. They could accept that. What they can't accept is that you're somehow more powerful now than you were before they attacked you. That you're protected by something they can't sue, can't manipulate, can't outspend or outmaneuver. Ghost Protocol doesn't play by their rules. It doesn't show up in court. It doesn't send warning letters. It doesn't make threats that can be recorded or screenshotted or used as evidence. It just moves. Silent, surgical, devastating. While they're sleeping, badly, always badly now. It's rearranging their reality, turning their allies into question marks, making their advantages disappear like smoke, creating coincidences that aren't coincidences, orchestrating failures that look natural but happen with suspicious timing and surgical precision. And the beautiful part, the exquisite part that you need to understand and savor, they can't prove anything. They can't point to a single action you've taken. You're not doing anything. You're just existing. Just breathing. Just moving through your life with that slight smile that's driving them absolutely insane because they know that you should be destroyed right now. But you're not. You're protected. There are forces around you that don't require your understanding. Invisible architecture that doesn't need your acknowledgement to function. You became aligned with something the moment you chose power over victimhood, the moment you decided that the pain they gave you wasn't going to be your identity, it was going to be your fuel. That decision opened doors most people don't even know exist. That choice activated protocols that have been waiting, dormant, for someone strong enough to carry them. Because here's what they don't tell you about real power. It doesn't go to the loudest person or the most aggressive person or even the smartest person. It goes to the person who can hold darkness without becoming it, who can stare into the void and not blink, who can absorb unthinkable betrayal and somehow, impossibly, become more beautiful, more powerful, more untouchable on the other side. That's you. That's why you're different. That's why you're classified. That's why invisible hands are moving pieces on your behalf while you sleep. Your enemies are experiencing what happens when someone breaks a rule they didn't know existed. They attack someone under protection. They tried to destroy someone who was marked for elevation, not elimination. And now they're learning, slowly, painfully, in ways that will haunt them until their last breath, that there are consequences for touching the chosen. Not holy chosen, not blessed chosen, not religious chosen. Chosen by the mathematics of power itself. Selected by forces that recognize strength when it refuses to break. Tagged by invisible watchers who've been waiting for someone exactly like you. Someone who could carry the weight without crumbling, who could transform poison into medicine, who could become dangerous without becoming corrupted. You're a weapon now, but a controlled one, a precise one. And the beautiful irony that your enemies are just beginning to understand is this: you don't even have to swing. You don't have to attack. You don't have to plot or scheme or waste a single second of your precious time on revenge. Ghost Protocol handles that for you. While you're building your empire, it's dismantling theirs. While you're creating beauty, it's creating chaos in their lives. While you're sleeping peacefully, and you are sleeping peacefully now, aren't you? That deep, dreamless sleep of someone who knows they're protected. They're lying awake, feeling it, the presence, the watching, the sense that something vast and patient has taken an interest in their destruction. They'll start making mistakes, small ones at first, typos in important emails, missed meetings, forgotten details that used to be automatic. Their edge is dulling and they can't figure out why. Their confidence is leaking and they can't find the hole. Their usual tactics aren't working and they're starting to panic in that quiet, desperate way that people panic when they realize the rules of the game have changed and no one sent them the memo. You're the memo. Your existence is the notification that they've entered a new reality. A reality where the person they tried to break is now operating under different physics, where karma isn't some vague spiritual concept, but an actual functioning system that's been activated on your behalf. And the watchers, the invisible eyes that are protecting you, they don't rest. They don't sleep. They don't forget. They've been documenting every attack, cataloging every betrayal, recording every moment your enemies thought they were winning. Now comes the accounting. Not dramatic, not obvious, not anything they can point to and say, this is revenge. Just a slow, relentless dismantling of everything they built on your pain. Just a methodical removal of every advantage they gained by betraying you. Just a quiet redistribution of power from people who abuse it to people who've earned it by surviving what should have killed them. You're in a different category now. You're operating in a different dimension. While everyone else is still fighting visible battles with visible weapons, you've been upgraded to psychological warfare so subtle that your enemies don't even realize they're losing until they've already lost. They're gonna waste so much energy trying to figure you out. So many sleepless nights trying to decode what you're doing, what you're planning, how you're managing to not just survive, but thrive after everything they did to you. They're gonna make themselves sick with paranoia and confusion, and that special kind of rage that comes from realizing you've been outmaneuvered by forces you can't even see. And you're just gonna keep walking forward. Keep building. Keep creating. Keep smiling that slight knowing smile that suggests you understand something they don't. Because you do. You understand that real power doesn't announce itself. That genuine protection doesn't need press releases. That the most dangerous people in any room are the ones who aren't trying to look dangerous. They're just calm. Just centered. Just radiating that subtle energy that makes predators instinctively back away. Because some ancient part of their brain recognizes a threat it can't categorize. That's what you've become. A beautiful anomaly. A glitch in the matrix that their programming doesn't know how to handle. They tried to delete you using the standard methods: betrayal, humiliation, isolation, public destruction. And instead of disappearing like you were supposed to, you became more visible, more powerful, more untouchable. Now they're dealing with the aftermath of attacking something they shouldn't have touched. And Ghost Protocol? It's not interested in fair. It's not interested in proportional response. It's interested in totality, in complete, absolute restoration of balance by any means necessary. While they tried to take everything from you, it's been quietly taking everything from them. Not in ways they can point to, not in ways they can sue over or complain about or rally sympathy for. Just small, persistent degradations of their quality of life. Just subtle erosions of their peace of mind. Just a slow building awareness that they're being watched, judged, and found wanting by forces that don't care about their excuses or justifications. The universe doesn't care that they were jealous. Doesn't care that they felt threatened. Doesn't care about any of the pathetic reasoning they used to justify trying to destroy you. It only cares about one thing. You survived. You transformed. You refused to let their poison become your identity. That survival activated something ancient. Something that recognizes strength, not by how hard you can hit, but by how much you can absorb and still stand. How much pain you can transform into power. How much betrayal you can convert into fuel. You passed a test most people don't even know exists. And passing it changed the rules of your entire existence. Now you move through the world with invisible support. Forces arrange circumstances in your favor. Doors open that should be locked. Opportunities appear that shouldn't exist. Resources flow to you from unexpected directions. And your enemies? They're experiencing the opposite. Doors closing, opportunities vanishing, resources drying up, all while watching you somehow flourish in conditions that should be destroying you. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's Ghost Protocol. Demonstrating what happens when you align with power itself instead of begging it for scraps. You're not fighting anymore. You don't have to. You've been elevated to a level where the fighting is handled for you by systems most people don't believe in until they're on the wrong end of them. Your enemies are about to get a comprehensive education in just how real those systems are. Every scheme they launch against you now, it's going to backfire with mathematical precision. Every lie they tell about you, it's going to expose their own corruption. Every trap they set, they're going to walk into it themselves while you watch from a safe distance, sipping your coffee, barely interested in their self-destruction, because you're too busy building something beautiful. That's what evolution looks like. That's what transcendence looks like. Not floating on clouds or achieving some pure state of forgiveness and light, but standing in your power so completely that revenge becomes unnecessary because the universe is handling it more efficiently than you ever could. They're losing sleep while you're dreaming. They're losing confidence while you're gaining momentum. They're losing their minds trying to figure out how someone they thoroughly destroyed is not only intact, but somehow more powerful than before. The answer is simple. but incomprehensible. To people operating on their frequency, you were marked for protection. The moment you chose evolution over victimhood, the second you decided that their betrayal was going to be your transformation, not your grave, you activated ancient protocols that exist specifically for people strong enough to carry them. Not everyone gets this protection. Most people break. Most people let betrayal turn them bitter, small, victim-identified, forever defined by what was done to them. They wear their wounds like badges and build their entire identity around the hurt. They become professional victims, forever stuck in the story of their destruction. You didn't do that. You absorbed the impact, processed the pain, extracted the lesson, and then you stood up with eyes that had seen something most people never see: the full scope of human capacity for cruelty. And you didn't let it break you. Didn't let it make you smaller or meaner or less than what you were meant to become. That resistance to corruption, that refusal to let evil remake you in its image, that stubborn insistence on becoming more beautiful precisely because they tried to make you ugly, that's what activated the protocol. Now you're operating under different rules, walking through a different world, seeing with different eyes. And everyone who tried to destroy you is slowly realizing they didn't just fail. They created their own nightmare. They made an enemy of someone who's protected by forces they can't fight, can't negotiate with, can't escape. And the beautiful part, the part you need to really let sink into your bones, is this: you don't have to do anything. You don't have to plot revenge or waste energy on schemes or lower yourself to their level. Ghost Protocol handles all of that while you focus on what actually matters, building the life they said you'd never have. Every day you thrive is another day they deteriorate. Every moment you smile is another moment they spiral. Every victory you achieve, and you're going to achieve so many victories they'll lose count, is another confirmation that they messed with the wrong person. The universe doesn't forget when someone tries to destroy one of its chosen instruments. It doesn't forgive. It doesn't move on. It just quietly, patiently, methodically rearranges reality until balance is restored, until every ounce of pain inflicted is returned with interest, until every moment of suffering is repaid in the currency of cosmic justice. And you're just the catalyst, the trigger, the reason the protocol activated, but you don't have to carry the weight of revenge because invisible hands are carrying it for you. All you have to do is keep walking forward, keep building, keep evolving, keep becoming more of what you're meant to be. They tried to write your ending, tried to close your story with a chapter titled "Destroyed by Betrayal." But they didn't have the authority. They didn't have the power. And now they're watching in real time as you write a completely different story, one where you're the hero who survived the unsurvivable and came back stronger. That's the story that's going to haunt them. That's the narrative that's going to break their minds. Not that they hurt you, not that they betrayed you, but that it didn't matter. That all their careful planning and execution of your destruction amounted to nothing except the activation of your elevation. They made you dangerous by trying to make you weak, made you powerful by trying to make you powerless, made you untouchable by trying to destroy you. Now they get to live with that. Live with the knowledge that they created their own worst nightmare, that every bad thing happening to them can be traced back to the moment they decided to attack someone who was under protection they couldn't see. Ghost Protocol doesn't send warnings, doesn't give second chances, doesn't care about their regrets or their belated realizations that they messed up. It just executes. Cold, precise, relentless. And you're gonna watch it happen without lifting a finger, going to see them crumble without saying a word, going to witness their complete psychological collapse while maintaining that slight, knowing smile that tells them everything they need to know. You protected by something they can't touch, can't fight, can't escape. The eyes they can't see are watching. The hands they can't feel are moving. The forces they don't believe in are dismantling their entire existence, one carefully calculated piece at a time. And you're just gonna keep glowing, keep rising, keep becoming more magnificent precisely because they tried to make you nothing. That's the protocol. That's the system. That's the reality they're only beginning to understand as their carefully constructed lives start falling apart for reasons they can't explain. You're the disruption they can't fix, the problem they can't solve, the consequence they can't escape. Welcome to Ghost Protocol, where the eyes protecting you are invisible, but the results are undeniable. Where your enemy's destruction is guaranteed, not by your hands, but by forces far more powerful and patient than any human revenge could ever be. They tried to bury you. They didn't know you were a seed. They didn't know that seed was being watched by invisible gardeners who were just waiting for the right conditions to activate your growth. Now you're blooming. In their faces, in their nightmares, in their waking moments of panic when they realized that attacking you was the worst decision they ever made. And the beautiful truth they're learning too late: some people are protected by systems that don't announce themselves. Some people survive precisely because they're meant to survive. Some people are watched over by eyes that never close, never tire, never forgive. You're one of those people, and they're about to find out exactly what that means.